Today's edition of Toggle's Daily Video Insights. For those of you joining us for the first time, warm welcome. This is the moment where we take one of the many insights that Toggle produces every market trading day and take a look in a little bit more depth to highlight what some of the important drivers, pressures, and variables are that Toggle has uncovered for a particular stock. If you would like to see more of these insights, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel or check us out on toggle.global, where you can actually also sign up to use the Toggle Copilot, which is the system that we are using here. The focus today is going to be on Smartsheet. The stock has had two insights over the past few weeks. One was way back in early March that had been subsequently fulfilled, as you can see by hovering over this arrow. And now this most recent one here that's looking for the price to rise up to 70.90 or above, and is really driven by the entry point specifically. So if we click on this to get more detail on further analysis, what you're able to see immediately is that at the moment, Smartsheet still seems to be oversold relative to the peak at 85 that it reached recently, and over 7 similar occasions that Toggle was able to analyze to try and figure out how these oversold conditions had resolved previously. It concluded that more than half the time the stock would have bounced at least 6.4% over the following 2 weeks. So again, this is what happened, at least had the cases. Obviously, in some of the cases, it would have risen even more. Now, the starting point of 66, 65 is highlighted here. The red line is highlighting the point beyond which, if the stock were to dip below this, it means that the oversold condition obviously was not strong enough to assert itself this time, and something else must be driving the price instead. The target is at 70.90, but of course the confidence interval is quite a bit wider, and so it's possible to reach also all the way up to 75 within that time frame. Now, looking at why it might move, many of you already know this, it highlights visually previous episodes when the oversold condition had appeared. And so you can see actually just by squinting a little bit that these have in the past preceded some pretty meaningful bounces. Some of them look visually like they were quite a bit stronger than just a little bit over 6%. And so if we then click on the backtest, we'll see quite quickly what the upside versus the downside was. The left chart shows you what your gains would have been if you had invested $1 in the first insight back then, and then in every subsequent one. And so while it's quite choppy, it would have resulted in quite a nice return. And then here you're seeing the distribution of actual returns. And so you can see that there were some that were quite substantially over 6%. In fact, some nearing 20, even one over 30%. But at the same time, on the lower end, there were some that also risked losing about 10%. So the stop loss level here is really quite critical to adhere to. The Smartsheet stock is obviously one that you should take a look at, see what the business is and whether or not it fits in your portfolio. But Toggle is highlighting that if you do think that this is something that you actually agree and like the business, that this might be the moment to take another look, because you're getting a compelling entry level. In the daily brief, which should be in your mailboxes already if you are subscribed. If you're not, you can do so at toggle.global. We also discuss the resurgence in US travel and what that might mean for some of these stock sectors. So check it out, and if not before, we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks for your attention.